It's where visionary ideas come to life. Because it's not enough to create amazing things. You have to create things that make a meaningful difference with people. Real people. Because they're the ones who decide what's worth talking about. What's ready for reality. It's tech that allows us to connect and explore and play in ways we can see and ways we haven't begun to imagine. And here, right now, is where we'll discover the ideas that will change our lives for the better. Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Consumer Technology Association, Gary Shapiro.
Thank you, and welcome to CES 2020. Are you CES ready? Absolutely. And I especially want to welcome a couple of our guests from abroad. Prince Constantine of the Netherlands, Minister Mona Keizer, I'm so glad you're here joining. The 20-teens are gone. It's a new decade with undreamed of innovations ahead. You know, we started the last decade excited to experience the Internet of Things. I feel an even stronger vibrancy here at CES 2020, the art of the possible. It's a sense of optimism that's hard to describe unless you're here at CES. We're beginning another decade of profound transformation, the roaring 2020s. And in the 2020s, IoT actually stands now for the intelligence of things. At CES 2020, you'll understand what I have been saying on this stage for years, that every company has to be a tech company. And as you walk around this week, you'll experience how technology is enabling us to become safer, healthier, safer, and more resilient. To me, without a doubt, CES is absolutely the best week of the year. It's a networking event that brings together scrappy startups and world-famous brands. It's a global stage that spotlights leaders, innovators, and visionaries. And it's an international summit where new business models and next-generation tech come face-to-face with policymakers and global leaders. It's an immersive laboratory where you can see, touch, and try the latest innovations. It's also a proving ground for emerging technology, from cybersecurity to blockchain to quantum computing. Actually, what CES is, it's an intersection of people and technology connecting to build a smarter, safer world. Now, last night, we had a couple of keynotes that provided a glimpse into this exciting future. We heard H.S. Kim on this stage discuss Samsung's vision for revolutionizing the consumer experience, and he unveiled Ballie, which is a small rolling robot that takes personalized care to the next level. And we listened in amazement across town as Ola Kalenios and movie director James Cameron unveiled Daimler's groundbreaking concept car. Of course, you'll find dynamic innovators and visionaries and leaders across CES. Some of them you know well, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Qualcomm. But we also have global companies in health, air travel, agriculture, social media, entertainment, and beauty. Everyone from Delta Airlines to John Deere, from the NFL to NBC Universal, from P&G to IBM, and from Unilever to Impossible Foods. Now, to tell us more about our vision for 2020, please join me in welcoming CTA's Executive Vice President of CES, Karen Chupka.
Well, thank you, Gary. Good morning, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be back here in Las Vegas. You know, there is nothing that comes close to CES. It's so much more than a show. It's a true ecosystem. And it's the world's most influential technology event. Everywhere we tell you this, and every year we tell you that this is going to be our best show ever, And the interesting thing is, every year it's true. This year we have more than 4,400 exhibitors, 1,200 startups all throughout the show. Every major and emerging industry is represented in the tech ecosystem from more than 160 countries, regions, and territories. And I keep using the word more because everywhere you turn, there's more to see, there's more to learn, and there's more to inspire you. The ideas and technologies around you this week are life-changing, including some from companies and industries that actually you might not even think of to see at CES. We have American Express and Twitch. You're also going to see technologies from the University of Notre Dame and the University of Texas. And you're even going to get to see a flying car from Pegasus. We also have an incredible lineup of keynote speakers for you this week. These leaders are going to prove that every company is now a tech company. And you're not going to get a lineup of speakers anywhere else in the world. CES is also the single best networking event imaginable. In fact, we estimate that attending CES saves executives 3.4 billion miles of business travel each year. That's 3.4 billion miles. And each attendee averages over 33 meetings over the course of CES. This is where the world's biggest brands do business, and they meet new partners, and the sharpest innovators hit the stage. And we're so proud to highlight this year our extensive diversity and inclusion programming. We're committed to CES being inclusive. Thank you. CTA is so committed to CES being an inclusive and welcoming for all event. And we're focused on three key areas. The first is in partnerships. We have the Female Quotient, who is our official equality partner of CES. So please be sure to check out the FQ Lounge, where they're having great programming throughout the week. We also have a second group of programming that we're running this year called the Innovation for All program, and it permeates the show, highlighting the effective real-world business cases for creating diversity and inclusion that helps drive innovation. Our third area is in engagement. And CES and beyond, CTA brings together the entire tech ecosystem to share solutions that help encourage a more diverse and inclusive industry. Last year on this very stage, we announced a $10 million investment in funds that invest in women and diverse founders. You know, research shows that diverse leaders and diverse teams help make decisions and reach greater results. I'm so thrilled to say that we've already awarded grants to 4 funds, and we expect so many more exciting announcements in 2020. We also launched CTA's Diversity and Inclusion Working Group, which now includes 40 CTA member companies. Well, now I'd like to talk a little bit about what else you're going to see this week at CES. You know, CES is the home to the breakthroughs in technology that touch every aspect of our lives, from our homes to transportation, to work, and everything that's in between. And more to the point, CES is a place where we figure out how these elements of daily life are interconnected and how we can make them faster, stronger, and safer. So let me walk you through a few of the highlights. First, artificial intelligence is the star of CES 2020. AI is one of the key ingredients that we're going to see for the coming decade. And you're going to see AI innovations across the entire show floor, be it in smart cities, vehicles, digital health, robotics, sports technology, even biometrics and beyond. You're also going to find 5G connectivity innovations throughout the show. 5G is a critical ingredient and platform technology. It's the ability to deliver access and information anywhere, anytime that's enabled by the 5G connectivity that's really going to help drive innovation. And once again, CES is the hub for 5G. It's the only global event that brings together the full entire 5G and mobile connectivity ecosystem. And 5G and IoT are essential building blocks to help build and power smart cities. Smart cities are the face of the not-too-distant future, and CES is the only place where you're able to see and experience them today. You're also going to discover more from blockchain here at CES. Blockchain is being incorporated into business solutions to help improve security, everything from food safety and supply management to payment processing and data sharing. Another one of our key areas this year is digital health. On the show floor, you're going to see a host of innovative tools and technologies that are vastly improving the patient experience and transforming healthcare. Another technology that you're going to see, and we're seeing incredible growth at, is augmented and virtual reality. In the next few years, there's going to be an explosion of short-form, long-form VR content that's going to transform everything from marketing to movie night. Business-to-business applications of AR are also growing. And this week, you can visually immerse yourself in industries from healthcare to agriculture and from manufacturing to retail. And speaking of immersive experiences, you want to make sure you get over to the ARIA and visit C-Space. Content streaming is a key theme of this year's show, and you're going to find CMOs, content creators, major studios, and top advertising firms over there. Our exhibitors at C-Space will show you how technology is reimagining branding, marketing and advertising, and the entertainment experience. And we have new exhibitors over there, including influential brands like Target and iHeartMedia. You're also going to find our sports technology area over there. Sports and technology continue to converge, and CES is helping to lead the way. And here at the show, we have an extensive program exploring the changing landscape of all of sports innovation. Another key area tied to sports is gaming, and it's rapidly becoming an immersive experience. We're worlds away from the Atari and Nintendo consoles that I used to play when I was a kid, and CES has the latest hardware and software accessories transforming gaming. We're also showing the most innovative technology that makes our home entertainment look and feel and sound more real. From the stunning pictures of 8K Ultra HD TVs to the immersive high-performance audio experience. CES 2020 is also showcasing the latest innovations in travel and tourism, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that today on this stage. You're also going to see how smarter, safer technologies are transforming the travel experience, and especially the customer's experience. From IoT automation to biometric security, you're never going to travel the same way again. But you may not have realized it, but you've come to one of the world's top auto shows also. You're going to see the latest and greatest in self-driving and connected vehicles. We also have electric vehicles that are going to be a major focus of the manufacturers this year. And transportation tech isn't only on the ground at CES now, it's taking to the skies. We have the latest advancements in the applications of drone technology. And drones are revolutionizing the way we capture, monitor, and deliver goods and information, from agriculture to commerce to disaster relief and beyond. You're also going to see the brands of the future as you walk around Eureka Park later today. It's the biggest startup event on the planet, and you're going to find startups from more than 50 countries here. Eureka Park is a snapshot of everything that CES has to offer. It's where innovators showcase great ideas and connect with media, investors, and potential partners. And this is the promise of CES. We showcase today's innovations. We help tomorrow's innovators. We connect entrepreneurs, funders, and leaders, and we help turn ideas into the reality. And actually, we also help open the door to the future, because the future of every successful company now involves technology. And now, to give us a glimpse of that future, I'd like to bring Gary back to the stage. Thank you all, and have a great show.
Thank you, Karen, for giving us that glimpse of the future and what you'll experience this week. It is amazing. Think about it. All of these technologies, from AI to 5G to digital health, they all hold the promise of a better future for people all around the world. And all of us here at CES have an incredible opportunity to actually shape that future. But the fact is, for all of us to flourish, we must engage and actually listen to each other. We have to reach across industries. We have to reach across political parties. And we have to reach across international borders. At the Consumer Technology Association, what we're trying to do is to engage with other sectors, other countries, policymakers from both sides of the aisle. And we want to get results on important key issues that will shape our future for the decade ahead. Last year, we actually issued privacy principles for personal health information. These are unique voluntary privacy guidelines about your health and wellness data. We also formed a new technology and standards group on robotics, smart energy, and self-driving vehicles. And we launched new standards committees on AI and cybersecurity. We also still believe in trade. We push so hard for the new NAFTA. And what that agreement does, thank you, Michael Petricone, this will help guarantee open trade among the US, Canada, and Mexico. And what it does is provide a solid platform for trade and also investment in innovative technologies. Now, we hope the US Senate will quickly pass this agreement because it passed the House. Now, the consumer tech industry is, of course, active in other areas. We are committed to addressing climate change. Last year on this stage, I announced a new program. We will track the progress on how our industry emits greenhouse gases, and we'll recognize companies committed to shrinking their environmental footprint. Well, we've just released our first report monitoring the progress we made, and we're also noting our areas where we need improvement. If we can track our progress, it will help us find better ways to protect our planet. Our industry also has a laser focus on digital health technology. Tech innovations enable us to enjoy healthier lives and better monitor our own wellness. They deliver better outcomes at lower costs. I mean, the fact is, let's face it, we are aging rapidly as a population. We have actually frozen in the US a number of doctors. And digital health will deliver the care that we and our families need as costs rise and as we have limited healthcare providers. Digital health will reduce in-person visits and patient travel. It will also provide immediate access to the best health information in the world. At CTA, we like to keep score. We like to measure. So what we're doing is we are tracking where innovation thrives best. We are measuring how well countries and states support innovation. And our research shows that human progress thrives in certain areas, where governments are open to new ideas, where people enjoy freedom, and where environmental stewardship is a priority. Last year on this stage, I announced our expanded international innovation scorecard. We graded more than 60 countries across 25 indicators. It's very transparent. It's all on our website. 16 countries received our top honor, Innovation Champion. We'll unveil our next international scorecard on this stage at CES 2021. But today, we're unveiling our 5th edition of CTA's US Innovation Scorecard. Since our last US scorecard, internet access improved in every state, and self-driving vehicle testing and development have taken off. But we've added new criteria for 2020. We're looking at how well states welcome 5G connectivity. We're looking at how well they support apprenticeship programs that help build our workforce for the future. Well, I'm thrilled to announce that 15 states earned our highest ranking, Innovation Champion. 2 of them are represented here by top governor and lieutenant governor, the Governor Sununu of New Hampshire and Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist of Michigan. But thank you for joining us today, and congratulations. But there's also 5 states from America's heartland that joined this year's Innovation Champion ranks: Indiana, Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, and Nebraska. And another 10 states improved their rankings since our last scorecard. I want to congratulate all our Innovation Champion states, because what you do as a state helps you compete and attract entrepreneurs, businesses, and innovators. Now, last year, we launched CTA's new book, Ninja Future, right here at CES. In that book, I argued that we're entering a new era of innovation, and the only certainty is disruption. This can lead to anxiety and unease about the jobs of the future for a lot of working people. And during a meeting, actually, in March at the White House last year, I realized that the book was actually missing something very important, and that is our industry's responsibility to prepare workers for this disruption. So here at CES 2020, we're launching the paperback version of Ninja Future, and there's a new additional chapter discussing pathways to new and better jobs of the future. Our industry must, of course, focus on the future of the work, not only because it's the right thing to do for workers, but we need the workers also that have the skills for our industry. How we train our future workers and retrain our current workers is very important to us. And as a sign of our commitment, CTA is taking strong, concrete steps to ensure a future workforce. Last year on this stage, IBM's Ginny Rometty announced the launch of the CTA Apprenticeship Coalition. We now already, in less than a year, have some 40 CTA member companies engaged and committed to creating and scaling apprenticeships for new-collar jobs nationwide. Last May, CTA signed the White House Pledge to American Workers. That's a pledge for companies to commit to training their workforces. So far, more than 60 CTA member companies have pledged a total of 2.5 million education and training opportunities. And that's about 20% of all the opportunities that the White House has received in terms of pledges. The future work has to be a priority for the entire tech sector. Now, this week, there'll be some 200 international policymakers. They'll be here discussing many workforce issues and others. In fact, many of them are in the audience here today. We actually have a dedicated Future of Work conference track and programming. And what I urge you to do is go to these panels, listen to the experts, look for answers about building our workforce. It's such an important issue. It's gotten a lot of attention in the media leading up to this event, and I think it's worth focusing on. If we can't lead the world in innovation, if we can't access the skilled workers we need, we're not going to do well as an economy, as a country, and also preserve the very fundamental rights that we believe in as a democracy, the freedoms we expect as Americans, and others that are our allies in Europe and Japan and Australia and elsewhere. The right to access the internet, the right to freedom of speech, the right to actually have choice in voting. All these rights and choices are really, really important that we preserve, and it's about the workforce of the future. It's about us succeeding and surpassing innovation. It's an enormous contest, if you will, that's going to be going out in the future between our way of looking at liberty and human freedom and others. And I want to bet on my children and my grandchildren that they'll inherit what we have, which is the freedoms we love. The fact is the pace of change is unlike anything we've ever experienced. And it is unsettling for people. And it's undeniable that easy access to information and technology by both the good guys and the bad guys has reshaped policies, politics, and even politicians. Of course, there are endless opportunities to use technology for good, but we know that every innovation, from fire to the wheel to the telephone to the automobile to the computer, has the potential for misuse. And it's understandable that some policymakers and people and loud voices want to slam the brakes on innovation. But as old institutions and ways of life change, we adopt the new. We can't be paralyzed by fear. That's not who we are as human beings. We can't fall into the trap, thank you. We can't fall into the trap of thinking that this is the best that we can do, as we do in almost every era, because we could do better. We can't settle for today, because tomorrow holds so much promise. We know from our own history, just at CES every year, in the past, and even seeing it this year, that we're going to get more and more innovations. They're going to improve lives, make them better, safer, healthier, happier, taking care of our older generation, taking care of our children, educating them. So what lies ahead for us in the next 2020s we must embrace. Imagine avoiding almost all car accidents. Imagine robots doing dangerous jobs or repetitive jobs. Imagine prosthetic limbs and organs that actually really work. Imagine controlling pain without addictive drugs. Imagine healthier, safer, more productive, and longer lives. We know these new technologies will bloom and solve fundamental world problems. And we know that privacy will matter. And we'll be tempted to act out of fear just to protect the status quo. That's why we need a smart government approach to emerging technologies. One that sets the guardrails so entrepreneurs and innovators can introduce new products without asking permission. One that allows businesses to experiment and innovate. One that makes sure that tomorrow is stronger, safer, and more secure. We have to look at what we've already learned and done and built. And we have to take the best of it and use it to inform what we do next. And that's what CES is about. It helps us think through the implications and promise of all our innovations so that we can all thrive. To help those most in need around the world benefit from all this great technology. And also, what we're going to do, and I want to share with you right now, is to make sure that others in the world benefit. So we want to announce a challenge for the entire tech world. CES, I am pleased to announce, and the World Bank Group are partnering on a global tech challenge to bring innovation to developing countries. The World Bank Group is one of the largest sources of funding and knowledge for developing countries. But together, we're working to reward scalable, innovative solutions that seek to tackle challenges in digital health, the digital gender divide, and climate change in regions that need it the most. Here's a glimpse of what's to come.
The World Bank is an institution which is financing a lot of the needs of developing countries, helping them to address some of the main challenges and particularly reducing poverty. Why it's important for us to partner with CES? It's important because technology, it will help a lot of countries to really address their developmental challenges and to be able to reduce poverty. We are together trying to launch this challenge, which will help finding adequate solutions for developing countries, particularly in the area of health, of climate change, and try to reduce the gender gap. A lot of things are happening in that space in developing countries, but it's not always using the right and technical solution available on the market. We are very happy at the World Bank here to be partnering with CES and to be launching this new challenge. Thank you.
That's great. We're very excited about that. Okay, our first challenge and focus area that we're launching today is digital health. We're asking you and your companies to find solutions that speed the adoption of health tech innovations in East Africa. The challenge finalists will have access to a pool of up to $1 million in funding, and they will be able to tap a robust network of health systems and potential users and buyers of technology. Selected companies will be paired with local partners in emerging markets. We encourage companies, including all of you in this room, to apply for the challenge at ces.tech/global-tech-challenge. More details will come on the climate change and digital gender divide focus issues in the future. But we will announce the challenge finalists at CES 2021. But at CES 2020, you'll find the hope, the opportunities, and the potential of the 2020s. I have some advice for you this week. Get inspired by talking to some of the 1,200 startups in Eureka Park. We have more than 300 conference sessions. Listen to the panels and speakers, even those that may be outside of your area of expertise, because that's where new ideas grow and innovation occurs. Introduce yourself to someone from another company, another industry, another country. You'll never know where you'll find your next challenge, connection, or inspiration. You know, serendipity is a valuable hallmark of CES. This is where you see the most innovative companies, products, and peoples in the world. Of course, technology in our industry are already changing lives for the better, and the roaring 2020s will be the era in which we solve some of the major challenges. Yes, these innovations of today are remarkable, but I can't wait to see what's ahead at CES 2020 the next few days and at CES in the future. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker. Innovation at its core has always spurred the innovation at its core, if we could keep going, has always spurred the evolution of everyday experiences and changed people's lives for the better. When a new idea successfully disrupts the status quo, innovation itself is often redefined, along with the concept of how innovation is best fostered. Think about it. In the 70s and 80s, we saw brilliant college dropouts creating world-changing technology in garages and basement labs. Innovation in the 90s and early 2000s exploded with the dot-com boom that birthed many major digital empires. Now, the startup culture yielded fledgling companies that have taken advantage of a flourishing venture capital ecosystem. On the CES stage, you frequently see long-established companies in traditional industries evolving with technology as a driver. Delta Airlines is no exception and is truly acting as a disruptor in its industry. Delta Airlines has been around for nearly 100 years. Over the past decade, it has shown a relentless focus on meeting the needs of its customers and working to solve the challenges of operating a global airline in a volatile and certainly uncertain world. Organizations globally have praised Delta for its efforts and commended its strategy of putting its people and its culture at the center of its business. I know some of you in this room experienced that firsthand when you picked up your CES badge at Delta terminals in New York, San Jose, and Seattle. It's the kind of thoughtful touch I've experienced time and time again as a Delta customer at least twice every week that keeps me coming back home and to work and back to Delta. So I'd like to introduce to you Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian to help us kick off CES 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Delta CES 2020 pre-boarding show will begin shortly.
Now, I'd like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, those who can. Okay, folks, this time I really mean it. I want to introduce to you the person you came to see, Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian, to help us kick off CES 2020.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. It's so great to have you here.
Great to have you. Great to be out here.
So I want to just start you off with a really silly question. Like, what is an airline executive doing coming to CES?
Well, that's a great question, Gary. And first of all, we are honored to be at CES, so thank you for this invitation. But you do ask a great question. Why is an airline here delivering the opening keynote at CES? And to answer that question, you have to look back more than a century when technological innovation brought the life-changing magic of powered flight to our world. And we're here today because we still think that the gift of flight is the ultimate innovation. It allows people to connect across vast distances. It opens up opportunities that simply aren't possible without a human connection. And it brings the world closer at a time we need to be closer more than ever before. Now, most of you flew here to Las Vegas quickly and safely. And whether you flew an hour from LA or 20 hours from Shanghai, it was the magic of flight that brought all of us here together. It wouldn't be possible to be here without flight. And as aviation soars into its second century, we see technology as the tool to advance our mission of connecting people and creating opportunities. Now, we're not in the business of chasing shiny objects or technology for the sake of being cool. At Delta, our focus is on applied innovation. And we're dedicated to solving your travel problems and making your journeys and your lives easier and less stressful. And at Delta, we have a vision for getting there. So today, you're going to see what travel will look like in 2025 and the steps that Delta is taking to bring it to life. So let's get started.
Runway X-ray turn 1740, the altimeter 3020, clear taxi line arrival.
Good evening. We have upgraded your seats. Welcome on board.
It's been our pleasure to serve you today, and enjoy your stay wherever your travels may take you.
Keep climbing isn't just something we say, it's something we do for you. We're here 95 years after our first flight because of our relentless drive to build a better way to fly. And as complex and technical as running the world's most reliable airline is, the way we do it is simple and human. It's by listening to you, to your needs, your ideas, your dreams, and then charting a course that takes us there. You're the reason we never accept the status quo, leading innovation in the industry for decades. We solve for your pain points, harnessing emerging technologies to enable advancements like biometric boarding and real-time bag tracking. We perfect your experience, investing in your comfort and your happiness. You are why the best team in the world gives their best every day. Curiosity fuels us, innovation propels us, humanity lifts us. So we never look back. We only keep climbing.
Now, while technology is there to serve our customers, frankly, it's meaningless without the power of the finest airline professionals in the world, the 90,000 people of Delta Airlines. And I'm proud and humbled to represent our Delta family who's here with me today. Thank you for what you do for all of us. After the dark days of September 11th, keep climbing was our rally cry as we rebuilt our company. And it was the power of the Delta people, their passion, their dedication, and their ingenuity that rescued our airline. And we've come a long way since. Today, Delta is the largest, most awarded airline in the world, thanks to our people who are the Delta difference. And we know there isn't a silver bullet to creating great airline experiences, but what we do know is that humanity is a great North Star. We've had to build the tools and the consumer trust to take us where we want to go. In the past 5 years, we've invested billions to turn Delta's technology from what had been a vulnerability to an award-winning digital advantage. And what has that done? It has given us tools like real-time bag tracking, biometrics for faster boarding and shorter lines. And we get a lot of fresh ideas through partnerships with entrepreneurs and with startups. You're going to be seeing some of that today. We're working with startups who are pushing the envelope, like CarePod, where they're working to carry and monitor our pets safely and humanely from gate to gate. And that's my little guy up there. His name is Oliver. Isn't he a cutie? We're also exploring a new way to keep airplane cabins clean with a startup called Vital Vio. They make antimicrobial lights that safely and constantly sanitize surfaces without impacting people. And now here's another cool idea that we're implementing. We're recycling plastic waste into the blankets that we have on board. In fact, we put one of those recycled blankets in every seat for you today, for you to keep and take home and use here, because it can get chilly in this auditorium. And 2 of the blankets have an extra surprise in them. A pair of tickets to fly in Delta One, our most luxurious cabin with flatbed seats, to any destination we serve worldwide. If that's not magic, I don't know what is. So take a minute and look inside your blankets. Let's see who the winners are. Looks like a big slumber party out there. Do you have the winners? There's 2 of them. Where are they? I heard a scream. Stand up. Who's got it? Stand up. Do we have another? Where's the other one? I hear somebody yell. There you go. Congratulations. That's very cool. Enjoy your travel on Delta One. I love giving tickets away to see the world. Truly is one of the perks of my job. Not many jobs you have like that, right? Thank you. Because we carry 200 million people across the world every year, the opportunity for our innovations to have meaningful impact is tremendous. Here's an interesting fact. We engage with 600,000 customers every 15 minutes. That's the population of Vancouver every hour. So when we envision what the future of air travel looks like, we have to think big, start small, and then scale very fast. The opportunities to better connect people across the world are truly endless, and technology will help us do it even better. So I'd like to spend a minute talking about the fundamentals of our business. We're proud that we've become the most reliable airline on the planet. We've canceled cancellations. We've eliminated involuntary bumping. We've created the most effective baggage handling system on the planet. But we're not satisfied with meeting those basic expectations. Oh no. We want to exceed them. And that's what sets Delta apart. A great example is the security line. The amount of time that you spend in that line has a big impact on your travel experience. And that's why we decided to partner with TSA, Clear, and Customs. In fact, we're an early investor in Clear to make wait times shorter and more predictable. We've made a lot of progress using everything from biometric technology to computed tomography scanners. These tools help create a smoother, less stressful experience, even on the most difficult travel days. It's still not perfect, of course, and we know there's much work to be done. Most of you flew to CES, and I know there had to be some moments of stress along the way, especially if you did not fly in Delta. We want to eliminate those pain points because they're not only stressful for you, but for our employees as well. So to talk about how we're eliminating those stress points, I want to introduce someone who's on the leading edge of that effort. Ms. Sandy Gordon led operations for our 25,000 flight attendants worldwide for more than 10 years. And now today, she leads more than 10,000 ground agents as part of our airport customer service team. I'd like to welcome Sandy Gordon out to the stage. Sandy, please come on out. Sandy, we all experience stressful moments when we travel.
I know you're right, Ed. I know I do, and I am certain that many of you in the audience do as well. And it's interesting to note that our employees actually share in those stressful moments along the customer's journey. For example, while customers are worried if there'll be enough overhead backspace, our agents are working feverishly to help them all the while remaining focused on ensuring we get the flight out safely and on time. We've done a lot of research to identify stressful travel moments for customers and employees. We asked our customers to wear Fitbits and to video record their journey so that we could see the issues that they faced at every point. Now, I have to be honest, all of it wasn't pretty. But we listened and we learned. And here's what we confirmed. Not surprisingly, customers and employees reach their highest stress levels during irregular operations, like when weather causes a delay or even that rare cancellation. We learned that there's a lot of stress that occurs before you even get to the airport. You have so many things to manage that seem out of your control, like traffic patterns or parking. Understandably, we saw that navigating security checkpoints, boarding with carry-on bags, and unexpected turbulence are all stressful moments. And then there's the stress of simply being away from home. But in this research, we also validated something we always suspected to be true. When customers have a warm and engaging interaction with our people, they are less stressed and they enjoy their travels more. And so this is why we've invested in empowering our people on the ground and in the air with digital tools to help them deliver a better experience for our customers. Agents and flight attendants now have handheld devices that will allow them to recognize a SkyMiles membership milestone or take care of that special request that will make your trip a little easier. And our pilots now have an app that allows them to view any upcoming turbulence so that they can give customers and crew members a heads up. Because we've realized that being informed ahead of time really reduces the anxiety associated with that issue. So these are just some of the great examples of how we can combine the power of technology with the human touch of the Delta people to reduce stress and transform the experience. And Ed, I have to tell you, my stress level has come way down because I'm turning the stage back over to you.
These findings are fascinating, Sandy, and in fact, the research that Sandy was speaking to was fundamental to many of the innovations that we're going to be talking about today. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
So if the stress of traveling starts before you even leave home, how can an airline help alleviate it? Think about your trip to Vegas this week and everything that you had to do before you left. If you're like me, you checked the traffic, you looked up the security wait times, confirmed your terminal information, and then had to decide whether to rideshare, take public transit, or drive yourself. Wouldn't it be awesome to have one of our famed Delta Redcoats at your side, solving those problems for you? Well, since that's not possible, what's the next best thing? We think it's the Fly Delta app. It's already a top-rated travel app, and we know when customers use it, their satisfaction increases by double digits. But our ambition is to do even more. Let's take a look at what Fly Delta could do for you in the future. I'd like you to meet Sloan. We're going to follow her on a trip today, just a few years ahead of where we sit now.
No matter where the journey takes you, Delta is with you at every step to keep you informed, anticipate your needs, and connect all the dots. We'll intuitively coordinate your travel day using real-time data, connecting ground transportation and other travel arrangements with your flight based on factors like weather and traffic. You can start watching select in-flight entertainment from the moment you check in. We'll give you proactive notifications along the way. And you'll have access to fast-track experiences at the airport and beyond.
We have a bold vision for the Fly Delta app to evolve into your digital travel concierge, a platform for the brands and the services that you use throughout your journey. It will make your trip more relaxing, less stressful, and more enjoyable. Imagine walking through the plane, choosing your seats with augmented reality, or receiving a customized report from Delta's own meteorologist who give you advance notice of how weather may affect your travel, letting you solve any problems before they get to a critical stage. Today, you can track your bags in real time on the app. I know I always feel relieved when I get that push notification that my bag is on board with me. But you should also be able to track everything from pets to a child traveling alone. And just imagine this scenario. What if, instead of taking your bags with you to the airport, they were picked up at your home and transported directly to your hotel? That means no waiting in the bag drop line, right? No worries about overhead bin space. No crowding around the carousel. You can go directly from the airport straight to your meeting. Or if it's a leisure trip, go and explore that new city. And because it's all trapped on the app, there's no stress about whether your bag has been lost, or, should I say, mishandled. We like to say at Delta that we never lose bags. But they are occasionally mishandled. But we find them real quick, and we get them back to you real fast, okay? Now this is a very real scenario that we're working right now to bring to life. And you'll be able to pay for all of these options directly from the app. And what's really cool is that you'll be able to use your Delta Sky Miles as the currency to pay for everything, from your rideshare all the way to shopping at an airport store. These are exciting opportunities, and we know that it's going to take us some time to get there. But we're taking the first steps on this journey with a great partner who's already today at your front door. I'd like to invite John Zimmer, the co-founder of Lyft, to join me out here on stage. John? Good to be here, John. Great to have you. John, there's a lot we're going to do, out into the future, but I'd like to get started to let everybody know what Delta and Lyft are already working together on.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
What's exciting to me is that while Lyft and Delta were founded nearly a century apart, both of us share a strong commitment to great hospitality and innovation. Our teams have been working together now for about 3 years with the shared goal of improving the travel experience for our customers. We have made it easy to link Sky Miles and Lyft accounts to earn 1 mile for every dollar spent on US rides. And so far, we've awarded more than 1.5 billion miles together. And this week, we will be doubling the miles you can earn on rides here at CES. And I'm happy to say, I flew here on Delta and had a great trip.
That's great. I'm always pleased to hear that, John. And I have to say, I took a Lyft to the hotel from the airport myself. And I'm going to be looking for those double miles in my account.
You got it.
Now, there's no question, our companies, our people, are bold innovators and born collaborators. And now we're ready to take the next step in the collaboration to make it even more meaningful for all of our customers. So what do you see as the biggest opportunity as we work together to transform the Fly Delta app into a true digital concierge?
So for me, I think about my personal experience. I have 2 young daughters, and when I'm with my family, there's always a ton of excitement for the upcoming travel, mixed with some stress along the way. Think about all the planning you had to do for CES, dealing with traffic, security, unpredictable lines. And what we're looking to do with Delta is remove as many of the stresses as possible from travel and actually bring much more joy to the experience. So a few things I'm specifically excited about. First, when you need to head to the airport and request a ride, we want to automatically take into consideration things like flight delays, bad weather, and traffic based on real-time data from Lyft and Delta. And when you're leaving the airport, Lyft now offers Fast Match. So instead of going to a hectic pickup area, you can use a unique security code to match with the next available driver that pulls up. And if you want to upgrade your ride, like a larger or more premium vehicle.
That's what I did.
Nice. We want to help you do that with Delta SkyMiles.
So as we look to the future of travel, it's clear it's going to be multimodal, and that's cool because that's the foundation of our partnership. Tell us a little bit about your vision for multimodal travel over the next few years.
Sure. So our vision is that Lyft will provide all of your transportation needs in one place, in one app. So in addition to ride sharing, we now have the country's largest network of bikes, with New York City hitting a record 100,000 rides in a single day.
Wow.
We're also testing an incredible car rental experience, currently live in San Francisco and Los Angeles. And we encourage public transit with live schedules right in the app. And we're just getting started. Here in Vegas, Lyft has one of the largest self-driving services in the US, with more than 75,000 rides completed already. You can actually get a self-driving ride right now on the Strip. And while we bring all forms of transportation together in one place, I'm most excited about how both companies share a strong belief in embedding values and service into the work we do. For Lyft, we've built out transportation access programs across the country to make it easier for people to get access to healthier food and a job interview. We're also at Lyft committed to sustainability. Our goal is to make every ride 100% electric. This year, we partnered with the governor of Colorado to make one of the largest deployments of electric vehicles in US history. And it's really exciting to think about how our partnership with Delta can deliver on making travel a much more enjoyable experience.
Well, John, thank you for being with us today. It's inspiring to see your vision for the future and how well they line up and integrate with ours. Thank you for being a great partner. And thank you for joining us today.
Thanks again.
Thank you, John. Well, the future of transportation is clearly multimodal, and that's why, for us, partnering with Lyft is helping us redefine what it means to be an airline. Another great example is a partnership that we've recently announced with Wheels Up. Wheels Up is taking the ride-sharing concept to the skies by extending it to private aviation. Together with Delta, they are building one of the largest platforms for private aviation in the country, both physically, with our combined fleet of nearly 200 private jets, and digitally, with their innovative crowdsourcing technology. Their approach is truly democratizing private air travel. And at Delta, we have invested in Wheels Up to help them realize their vision of making private air travel accessible, more affordable, and more efficient. It's partnerships with Lyft and Wheels Up that open a world of possibilities for Delta customers at every point of their travel. Now, let's continue our journey by taking a fresh look at something that's essential to travel that you all know really well: airplanes and airports. Over the past decade, we at Delta have focused much of our energy and our investment dollars on new, state-of-the-art jets. In fact, by the end of this year, we will have replaced a full 1/3 of our mainline fleet in just the last 5 years. These aircraft are far more efficient, reducing emissions by 25%, and they take your experience to a whole new level. This year alone, we're taking 80 new planes into our fleet, replacing older, less efficient jets. International wide-bodies like the Airbus 350 and the Airbus 330-900neo are loaded with new technology. And these planes have a range of cabins to provide a great experience at all price points. Our main cabin seats, I have to say, are among the most comfortable in the sky. And our award-winning Delta One suites, which 2 lucky winners are going to experience here real soon, have sliding doors for privacy and provide the ultimate travel experience for those long international journeys. And if you've recently flown from Detroit to Dallas, or New York to Houston, for example, you've been on our brand new Airbus 220. It's a narrow-body plane that's designed to feel like a wide-body jet, with spatial design and the latest technology in every seat, and even has windows in the bathroom. We're proud to have been the North American launch partner for the 220, and you'll be seeing many more of these amazing aircraft in our fleet over the next few years. We've made great progress transforming the in-flight experience, but now it's time to bring that same innovation and ingenuity to the ground experience. We've all spent time in outdated airports, designed for a bygone era of travel, and a new vision is long overdue. So we're investing billions of dollars in airport infrastructure. And any of you that have traveled recently through Los Angeles, Seattle, Salt Lake City, Atlanta, Minneapolis, or New York are starting to see these investments come to life. We are reshaping and redefining the airport experience, bringing the amenities that you want to the terminals and gate areas where you can enjoy them. It's another way we're continuing to make travel easier, less stressful, and I dare say it, enjoyable. Let's take a look at what that airport experience might resemble in just a few years.
Welcome to an airport designed for you. Biometric technology lets you breeze through every step faster. Permanent bag tags enabled with GPS let you see where your bag is, anytime, anywhere. You move through security seamlessly without ever stopping. The whole experience feels more personalized. Parallel reality displays show you only the travel information that's relevant to you. Yours.
Now, you might think that Sloan's experience may look like science fiction, but it's actually closer than you think. And one aspect of it, personalized signage, is coming to an airport very soon, near you, thanks to the wonder of parallel reality. Now, you've heard of virtual reality, augmented reality, but what exactly is parallel reality? Well, it's an astonishing new technology that's being developed right now by a team of talented entrepreneurs at a startup called Misapplied Sciences. And Delta has invested funds, time, and our own brain power into bringing this idea to life in airports and beyond. We found Misapplied Sciences thanks to our own in-house innovation center, which we call the Delta Hangar. And I'd like to now welcome Nicole Jones, who leads the Delta Hangar, to the stage. Nicole, please come on out. And let's also bring out the CEO of Misapplied Sciences, Albert Ng. Albert, can you join us? Good to see you. Nicole, let's talk about Misapplied Sciences and the role that startups are playing within Delta.
The Hangar is a channel to enable and accelerate innovation within Delta. Delta employees know our customers and our operation best. So we focus on applied innovation, which is about delivering real value to the customer experience. We often partner with world-class research institutions, startups, and the venture ecosystem in order to identify, test, and scale solutions for our customers. When we met the Misapplied Sciences team, we were looking for solutions to reduce stress for customers in the airport environment. It's been a great partnership because Misapplied Sciences brings not only the technology, but also the expertise to make a significant impact in that environment.
Nicole, you're right, and I'm just amazed at this technology, and everyone at the conference is going to get a chance to see it displayed. But Albert, please first explain how it works.
Thanks, Ed. It really does seem like science fiction, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Imagine an international airport terminal completely personalized for you. Imagine walking up to a giant flight board, and instead of a list of 100 flights, you see only your own flight information. And in big letters so you can see it from 50 feet away. All of the signs are in your preferred language. Arrows light your path towards your gate, and the signs for your gate are flashing so you can spot them easily. Another screen lets you know you have an extra 15 minutes and directs you to the nearest coffee shop. At the gate, you see the exact time you board and the news that you got upgraded. So the entire airport environment is tailored just for you. Now, that would be easy if you were the only person at the airport, but we all know that's not the case. You'll need a new game-changing technology for a shared environment to be customized to every person. That's why we at Misapplied Sciences created Parallel Reality. Parallel reality is a new display technology where many people looking at the same display at the same time can each see different things. So when you look at the display, you see content tailored for you, while the person walking right next to you simultaneously sees content tailored for them, without a hint that the two of you are seeing different things. You're not wearing any special glasses or looking through a smartphone camera lens. You just look at the displays with your naked eyes. We have display technologies that work for crowds ranging from tens of people up to thousands of people, all looking at the same display at the same time and each seeing unique content.
Albert, that's incredible, and you make it sound so simple. And I know a lot has gone into developing this technology and bringing it to market. So tell us a little bit more about that and how does this thing work?
Sure, Ed. Parallel reality is actually one of the most sophisticated display technologies in the world, involving many underlying innovations that only we've ever achieved. These range from inventing new processor architectures, to developing new computer vision algorithms, to pioneering new optical manufacturing processes. We then wove together these interdisciplinary innovations to create engaging, personalized parallel reality experiences.
Yes, Albert, and these kinds of experiences are exactly what we want to enable for customers who are flying with Delta. We hear feedback that the airport environment can sometimes be stressful and unfamiliar. Parallel reality addresses that concern.
We've been lucky to have a partner like Delta, whose investment and commitment beyond that are vital to bringing parallel reality to market. We've also been impressed by how quickly the team at Delta moves, how everyone from the working team to leadership connected the dots on what the technology immediately means to customers and worked hard to make that happen. And because of this incredible partnership between Delta and Misapplied Sciences, the airport experience of the future that might initially seem far away is right around the corner.
That's right, Albert. This is not a technology that's going to take 20 years to bring it to life. We are excited to announce that Delta and Misapplied Sciences will bring the first ever commercial application of parallel reality by mid-year to the Detroit airport. But you don't have to fly to Detroit to see it. You can see it for yourself. We're debuting it here at CES for the first time outside of the lab in our Central Hall booth.
Well, that's awesome. And everyone was so excited. They were applauding during your announcement there, but it's actually starting this summer in Detroit. Okay, we'll have the first pilot. So for all of you traveling through Detroit, and we have a lot of great customers that hub through Detroit, you're going to have an opportunity to explore and experiment this. But this is a great combination of how we're combining Delta's strength and scale with innovative startups to advance the future of travel. And we'd also love to hear from you. If you have ideas for our journey into the future of travel, please stop by and see us at our CES experience or contact Nicole at the hangar. And that's another reason, Gary, why we're here. It's because we're open for business.
In an airport designed for you, terminals and gate areas are welcoming and more relaxing. We let you know exactly when it's your time to board, so you can make the most of your time in the airport. Head to the gate when we are ready for you, and board the plane quickly with biometrics.
Now, I don't know about you, but I love that vision of Sloan effortlessly boarding her flight. As we all know, boarding can be one of those nerve-wracking moments at the airport. There can be confusion about when you need to be at the gate, which group you'll be boarding with, and where you're going to line up. And of course, people are concerned about getting to their seat and getting their bag into the overhead before space runs out. Now, we've been doing a lot of work in this area, researching different methods for boarding to make it easier. And there's still a lot of work to be done before we entirely fix the boarding experience, but we have a new tool that we believe is a step in the right direction. Later this month, the Fly Delta app will start providing virtual queuing. Right now, the app sends you a notification when your flight is boarding. That's helpful, but only to a point. With virtual queuing, the app will alert you when it's time for your seat to board. That means there's no need to cluster at the gate. You know who you are out there. Waiting for your boarding group to be announced. You can stay comfortably seated or even enjoy a coffee at a nearby cafe until it's your time. If we can reduce stress and make things easier at the gate with virtual queuing, it makes you feel that much better when you get to your seat. And now, you're seated and you're settled, and you're at that ah moment, where you can enable your own kind of airplane mode. Now that means different things to everyone. For some, it's time to relax, maybe time to sleep. If you're me, it's probably time to work. But no matter what your plans are for your flight, our research has shown that we enter a heightened emotional state when we fly. And immersive in-flight entertainment is one of the best ways to de-stress while you travel. It helps you to relax. It increases your enjoyment, even if you do encounter that rare delay. And that's why we continue to install seatback entertainment screens on our planes. And we even turn them on before we leave the gate. You'll have a personal seatback screen on over 80% of our Delta planes, more than any other airline in the world, and we continue to install more every single day. And I can speak from my own experience. In our busy lives, sometimes the only time that you get to watch a movie is when you're flying. So many of us discover great films or artists while we're soaring above the clouds. For me, I won't forget watching Bohemian Rhapsody on a trip last year. Queen songs are stuck in my head for weeks. Artists, directors, and studios are realizing that Delta flights are becoming a platform to reach new audiences with their films. One such film that you may have heard of is The Farewell. It made big waves at Sundance this past year. And just the other night, it won a Golden Globe. And it's generating a whole lot of Oscar buzz. And now I'd like to welcome out to the stage the writer and the director of The Farewell, Miss Lulu Wang. Lulu. Lulu, thanks for being here. I recently watched your film, and I've got to say it's a remarkable piece of work, and congratulations to Awkwafina on winning the Best Actress in the movie. It's very, very cool.
Thank you.
One of the things I loved about your film is that it's so relatable. You know, we all have complicated family and cultural dynamics that we navigate every day. Why is it important to tell these kinds of stories?
I think it's really important that the stories we tell and that we hear and see represent the landscape of our country, of our world. You know, it expands people's points of views, and it allows us to see that stories transcend language and culture and nationality. You know, when I was first pitching The Farewell, I kept being asked, is this a Chinese film or an American film? And the truth is, it's what I am, which is neither and both, you know? And so it was such an incredible experience this year having, or last year I should say, that having the film out, and so many people were saying, you know, I'm not Chinese, I'm not even Asian, but this family is my family, you know, this grandma is my grandma, and so I think we need more stories like that.
We absolutely do. And there's a lot of commonalities in what we both do. You know, we try to bring people together through connections and create connections, you through storytelling, at Delta through travel. So let's talk about your own travel experiences and what does airplane mode mean to Lulu?
Well, first of all, I've been traveling with Delta for a very, very long time.
Thank you.
I'm a very loyal customer, not just because I'm here, because my family lives in Atlanta, and I have my status with Delta.
Status is important.
Which is very important. And, you know, I think that airplane mode, for me, is really about self-care. It's the one place where I can say, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't respond to those emails. You know, I just was up in the air, and people seem to forgive that, even when there's Wi-Fi. But I just, you know, love to zone out and watch a film, and it's a place where I can watch the films that I haven't taken the time to watch, you know, something romantic and something maybe that's seen as a guilty pleasure and not as like a, you know, research film or something.
Right.
And lately I've been wearing face masks on the plane with my glasses over the face mask. So I get a lot of weird looks, but, you know, I feel like it's truly one of the few spaces that's just you time, and it's important to do the self-care.
Yeah. Well, that's really important, and I can relate because some interesting research was done by one of our partners recently about the fact that people are more likely to cry when they watch a movie on a plane, even if they watch the same one on the ground and don't cry, because you have a totally different reaction in the air because of your elevated emotional state. Have you ever noticed a difference in your movie watching when you're on a plane, and what does that mean to you as a director?
Yeah, well, first of all, I cry a lot on planes. They just, every time I'm on a plane, I cry. Because, you know, when my family first immigrated to America, that was our first major plane journey. And when I went to college, I was on a plane. And so I feel like there's something really symbolic about planes. It takes you away from something, but, you know, towards something else, something new, something potentially unknown. And so definitely it's an emotional experience, and I noticed that other people feel that way too. They have an intimacy with the screen. And as a director, that's really all you can ask for, is for an audience member to be fully engaged in the story, and, you know, they're not going anywhere. So it's a very intimate experience. And recently I was on the flight and The Farewell was playing, and I saw someone crying, and I really wanted to go up to them and be like, hey, I made that movie. I didn't do it. And just to see their reaction, I didn't do it, though. I didn't do it.
That would have been pretty cool. So in addition to the accolades that The Farewell was receiving, it's also going to qualify for the Reframe Stamp. Reframe Stamp is for gender parity in television and in movies. And can you tell us a little bit about Reframe and why that's an important distinction that our audience should be aware of?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a really important time for women everywhere, and, you know, particularly right now in the entertainment industry. So Reframe was founded by Sundance Institute and Women in Film. It's a coalition dedicated to achieving gender balance in film and television. I'm super glad that Delta is such a supporter of Women in Film and Reframe, because these organizations really supported me in my career. They have workshops, they have mentorships, and that's so important to have people who believe in you and who continue to support you in whatever way you need as you're coming up.
Thank you. We love the cause. We're a partner with Women in Film and Reframe through a $125,000 annual contribution that we make to support female and diverse voices. And this year, we're providing an additional $100,000 to that campaign. But even more important than that is we're creating the first Reframe channel on board our aircraft. And it's going to house a range of movies. It's going to house a range of movies and TV shows that have earned the Reframe stamp. And we have 600,000 customers traveling on Delta every single day. So the exposure for Reframe will be massive.
That's really great. I'm super excited that people can watch not just The Farewell on Delta, which you can, so please do, but, you know, other films that have the Reframe stamp, and I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing to bring more diverse content to people around the world. And one last thing, while we're talking about the future of entertainment, the thing that I love to do I don't know how you guys feel about this, is when I travel with a partner, I really want them to watch the same film that I'm watching and watch it at the same time. So, if there's a button or something that you can make to allow us to sync our movies and hear it at the same time, so that we don't have to go 1, 2, 3, which is what I do now, go. That would be really cool.
Lulu, that's a great idea, and it's something that we're definitely going to bring to our team. And the good news is that we've got the technical opportunities and capabilities to go solve those types of issues. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Good luck. Wish Lulu good luck with the upcoming award seasons and the Academy Awards. We're going to be cheering and rooting you on.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's check in with Sloan, who's now on board her flight.
Your flight is still you time. You can be as connected or as disconnected as you want. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, sync your devices to your seatback screen, multitask, or simply let us entertain you. Order meals to be delivered to your arrival gate, and use miles to pay for anything and everything across your journey. Even connect with other passengers on your flight.
As you can see, we have a vision that your seatback screen is going to become your onboard hub. And through it, you can engage with other customers that are headed to the same destination. You can confirm your meals. You can manage entertainment and make sure that your flight is truly your time. Now, how can Delta make all of this possible? Well, a couple of years ago, we recognized that we needed to take direct control of our in-flight entertainment and bring it to a very different level, a whole new level. And we set up inside of Delta our own disruptor that we call Delta Flight Products. It's a startup within Mother Delta. And the team there pioneered the industry's first wireless in-flight entertainment system. By eliminating the old wired hardware, we've made it lighter and easier to maintain, and at half the cost of the previous systems. And what that means for you is more content, like shows, movies, music, and games, updated much more often. And importantly, it also frees up the space from underneath the seat in front of you, where the old hardware box used to live. And because it weighs less, it benefits all of us by reducing emissions on every flight. And that's pretty cool. And we also know that being connected in flight is important. And sorry, Lulu, I believe in it, okay? We've made a lot of progress over the past few years to make our in-flight Wi-Fi faster and more reliable, but it's not yet to the level that our customers deserve. And that's why inside of Delta, we have a dedicated team working nonstop to meet that need. And I'm confident we're going to get there within the next couple of years to deliver Wi-Fi bandwidth and speeds as fast as in the air as on the ground. In fact, you're closer to the satellites, when you fly, right? And at the same price point that you normally pay. Where else do you pay for Wi-Fi other than on a plane these days? Nothing. It should be free. We firmly believe that. And it's important to us. And it's important to us because our mission is connecting people. And that includes providing connections online and in the air. And speaking of connections, wouldn't it be great to use your own Bluetooth headphones on a Delta flight? Yes? Well, that's another technical challenge that we're making a lot of progress on, and we're hoping to solve real soon. So Delta Flight Products is investing time and resources in these things because we know they're important to you. And we're committed to meeting and exceeding your expectations. So we've talked a lot about technology today. But as I said when we began, our leading source of innovation is our people. And that's why we're developing tools to help make their interactions with you less transactional and more meaningful, more human. Our people should not be spending their time taking tickets and scanning boarding passes. They're way too talented for that. It's the tools that we're building that are getting Delta people from out behind the counter so they can assist you, solve your problems in real time, and make your trip as smooth as possible. And new technology is also being developed in our operations center and in the cockpit, helping to ensure a smoother, more reliable trip, even in tough circumstances. And here's just a few examples. The Nomad handheld device lets Delta agents offer personalized and meaningful assistance to customers anywhere in the airport. There's no more need to line up at a counter. I mentioned earlier how we've canceled cancellations, but we still have to deal with weather variables like hurricanes or a nasty northeaster. And that's why the team in our operations and customer center is developing the industry's first machine learning platform to help ensure a smooth operation, even in extreme conditions. This system uses operational data to run scenarios and project future outcomes while simulating all the variables of running a global airline with more than 1,000 planes in the sky. It helps our decision makers quickly make the right call in real time, and you can see a display use and actually test it at our CES Experience Center. Another focus we have is on turbulence. We are seeing more and more instances of it, and it has a very real impact on our customers and on our employees. As Sandy mentioned earlier, we have been able to reduce the impact of turbulence with the Flight Weather Viewer, which is an app developed by our very own Delta pilots. It visualizes turbulence and other weather hazards along the flight path. Using it, pilots can adjust their course more precisely, decreasing CO2 emissions by tens of thousands of metric tons a year. And it also helps our pilots give real-time updates to travelers while they're in the air, in advance of encountering turbulence. And they can also let them know how long we expect it to last. Having that information to our customers is another way that we can reduce stress. But for all our employees do for you, we embrace our responsibility to take care of our employees very seriously, to take the very best care of them. And in 2018, Delta announced a partnership with Sarcos to advance groundbreaking exoskeleton technology. It's going to make our employees safer and better able to do their jobs. Let's take a look.
Sarcos Robotics makes advanced wearable robotic systems that augment human performance to make employees safer.
Look, Mom, no hands. The benefit of exploring a partnership like this with Sarcos is this kind of technology can potentially shape the way we work in the future in the airline industry. It is just another example of how we use technology to further empower our people.
Robotics is a growing industry. We're an innovative company. We want to stand on innovation.
Well, imagine if we could turn our team members into superhumans, giving them superhuman strength, superhuman endurance, the ability to safely lift a lot of weight.
Delta is about safety. So to be able to be hands-on with this, it tells you how much they care about the employee. But to actually be able to see it and feel it and have hands-on, you really get the big picture of what the company is trying to offer.
We looked for companies that were the clear leaders in technology adoption, in innovation. Delta was the natural fit.
We've been providing them our thoughts and ideas about how their technology can benefit us as an airline.
We'll be working very closely together to harden the technology and get it ready for commercial deployment.
We're amplifying any force that you put in there by 4 times. In the full robot, when it comes to production, we're going to aim for 20 times.
We were lifting 30 pounds. It's really simple when the robot's doing all the work. It's lessening the load on your arm. So a lot of the stuff that you think you can't do, the robot's doing for you.
It's exciting to see how we'll be able to use it in the workforce. Hopefully with this new exosuit, it will help prevent a lot of injuries that may happen.
More people have opportunities to stay in their current roles longer because they can do the job longer. You know, we have employees who love what they do and would love to do it forever. This technology can actually help that.
Now, I've always thought of our people as superheroes, but now they can be superhuman as well, right? You guys want to see the exoskeleton? Let's bring the exo on stage. Ledger, come on out here. Here comes the world's first and only full-body, battery-powered exoskeleton, and his name is Fletcher.
Hey, Ed. Hey, CES. How are we doing today?
Fletcher, I've got to say, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. But, you know, we've got something out here. What are we doing?
We have a special delivery for you. Let's go ahead and let's uncrate it for you. How about that? I think you're really going to like this gift, Ed.
Well, you've got me really curious. It looks heavy. I wonder what's inside there. Uh-oh. That doesn't look too much like a nice present. Who told you to get me one of these? This is a 150-pound barbell. Well, I know from my New Year's resolution that I promised to get back into the gym. I think that might be a little too heavy to start with. But what do you think?
Well, with the Guardian Exo, anyone can lift this much weight. So even though it is 150 pounds, it's really easy. Because strength isn't a factor since the suit's doing all the work for you.
So what does it feel like to wear? Is it comfortable? Can you move around?
Yeah, the suit's super comfortable. It carries its own weight as well as the weight that I'm carrying, just like this. And honestly, it feels like a small backpack, if anything at all.
Yeah. And how about moving? Does it restrict your range of motion a lot, or?
No, I mean, you guys saw me in the video. That was me with the helmet, moving the exoskeleton around, and you saw me changing tires. You saw me lifting boxes and suitcases, and I can even dance in the exoskeleton. Do you want to see that?
You can dance inside that?
I can dance inside this thing.
What do you think? Let's see him. Show us our moves. That's pretty good. We're going to see you in the disco later tonight, I think. Well, Fletcher, thanks so much for my delivery. I've got one last question for you.
What is it?
Well, I'm going to have to use that. You're going to need to be my workout partner.
Oh, of course, Ed. Anytime.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Give me a fist bump, and I'll see you in the gym.
Okay, sounds great.
You put it back up there.
Yeah. Though I will have to say, we should probably start with something a little bit lighter, honestly. Unless we're using the exoskeletons, then we could do this all day.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Fletcher. Take care.
Ed. See you, CES.
If you would like to learn more about the Guardian exosuits, and even try out the technology for yourself, as I did last night and put the suit on, come visit us at the Delta CES experience. It's very, very cool technology. Now, let's get Sloan safely back and on her way to her destination.
Even after you've arrived, our work continues. Because at Delta, we know getting you here is only half the journey. We'll be there every step of the way to make sure traveling isn't something that stresses you, but something that delights you, empowers you, and lets you connect with the people and places that matter most.
I hope we've made it abundantly clear today that Delta's responsibilities and vision extends far beyond the flight to the entire journey. And by creating a seamless experience, we can help travelers look up and connect with the world around them while they travel. There is no substitute for the power that travel has to change lives and make our world a better place. Unlike a cell phone, a video chat, or a text message, it's real-life connections that build understanding, empathy, and the desire to act. And we all know the most vital responsibility that we share is to build a better world. We're also well aware that our future and the futures of generations to come require us to be accountable for the damage that human progress has made to our environment. And at Delta, we take that responsibility very seriously. We've been committed to sustainability for years, and we're making our efforts even more meaningful as time goes on. Like so much we talked about today, there is no single solution, but projects, large and small, are bringing progress and hope. Back in 1990, Delta became the first U.S. airline to recycle cans and other onboard waste. We've recycled enough aluminum to equal the weight of 7 Airbus 350s. We're recycling oil and scrap metal at all of our maintenance bases. And we've recycled uniforms and life vests. Delta is leading our industry in eliminating single-use plastics on board our planes and at our airports. And some of those plastics are being recycled into the products you're sitting on today with your blankets. But our chief focus is jet fuel. It's the #1 contributor to our carbon footprint. Air travel on the whole contributes about 2.5% of the world's carbon emissions. And Delta has been working for years to reduce our emissions and the impact on the environment. Today, our total emissions are down 11% from where they were in 2005. And in 2012, Delta voluntarily capped our emission levels, which means that all growth beyond 2012, and we've grown 25% since then, has been carbon neutral. But these steps are good, but they're not nearly enough. Our goal is to cut total emissions in half by 2050. And to get there, yes, you can give us some applause. We need your help. To get there, we're deploying the tools available today and investing in the technologies of tomorrow. The new planes I mentioned that we're bringing into our fleet are 25% more efficient, which translates to lower carbon emissions. We've invested in a study to produce biofuels made from forest debris in the Pacific Northwest. And we recently entered a different contract to bring us 10 million gallons of renewable biofuels a year, as soon as that production facility is completed shortly. We were the first airline to offer customers the opportunity to join us and contribute to making their travel carbon neutral and using those contributions to invest in renewable and natural climate solutions. And this week, we are doing it for you. If you flew Delta to Las Vegas, we're offsetting your flights to and from CES, so your journey did not leave a footprint. Now, let me be clear. Offsets aren't the whole answer to sustainable travel, but they are one tool. And the investments that we're making with them are creating extraordinary opportunities, and their impact is big. Through offsets, we're putting investment behind initiatives that have lasting positive impact, not just on the environment, but also towards eradicating poverty. We're fortunate to have a tremendous partner who's here with us today to help talk about how sustainability and poverty are linked and what together we're doing about it. I want to welcome Hugh Evans, who's the co-founder and CEO of Global Citizen, to join me on stage. Hugh, please come out. Thank you for joining us, Hugh, and it's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about Global Citizen. Where did the idea come from, and how did you get started on this journey?
Well, thank you so much, Ed. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. All my life, I've been passionate about sustainable development. My journey started when I was 14 years old. In my first year of high school, I started raising money for communities in the developing world. We were an enthusiastic group of kids. We raised more money than any other school in Australia, and I was awarded the chance to go to the Philippines to learn more. It was 1998, and there was one night that changed my life forever. We were taken onto a slum in the center of Manila called Smoky Mountain. It's an entire community built on top of a rubbish dump where the very infrastructure of this whole community revolves around scavenging. And so the kids literally run after the garbage trucks and they try to get bits of scrap metal, pieces of food, and things that they can recycle. And that night I was placed in the care of a kid my own age named Sonny Boy. We were both 14 at the time, but where I'd come from, middle-class Melbourne, Sonny Boy, he had tattoos on his forearm because he was about to become his gang leader, and that was his form of initiation. And that night he took me to his house and we cooked this meal together with some food that I brought with me. But when it came time to go to sleep, we literally lay down on this concrete slab the size of half of my bedroom with myself, Sonny Boy, and the rest of his family, 7 of us in this long line. And I'll never forget lying there that night with the smell of rubbish all around us because we're lying on top of a garbage dump and cockroaches crawling all over us. And I didn't sleep at all. I just lay awake thinking to myself, it really is pure chance that I was born where I was born, and he was born there. And so that night I decided to commit my life to it. Fast forward to 2006, the G20 world leaders were coming through Melbourne, Australia, and me and my mate Dan had this idea to run a small concert called the Make Poverty History Concert that one day exploded when we got a phone call from Bono and Pearl Jam, who said they wanted to headline our show.
Wow.
As you can see,
that's a pretty cool call.
I got a bit too excited that day. And millions of Australians signed on to support our campaign. And to our amazement, the Australian government heard our collective voices, and they agreed to double investment into international development. An additional $6.2 billion was committed that night for the eradication of extreme poverty. And it felt like this incredible validation. We managed to convince our government to do the unthinkable and act to fix a problem miles outside of our borders. And off the back of that, we got a phone call from the United Nations in New York who said they want to help us take our work all around the world. And so Global Citizen was born that year to build a lasting movement of citizens to take action to help end extreme poverty, tackle climate change, and achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Hugh, that's an incredible story. It's an amazing guy. Let's talk about the state of poverty in the world today, and how does Global Citizen address it?
So when we talk about extreme poverty, we're talking about those living on less than US $1.90 per day. It's the sort of useless suffering where a child would die for lack of a 30-cent immunization. The good news is that we've made enormous progress. Extreme poverty has halved within my lifetime. When I was born in 1983, 52% of the planet lived in extreme poverty. It's now down to less than 12% of the planet today.
It's encouraging.
The second piece of good news is that the world actually has a plan to end extreme poverty and tackle climate change. It's called the Global Goals for Sustainable Development. 17 goals with 169 indicators designed to end extreme poverty, tackle climate change, and reduce inequality. But the more sobering piece is that the price tag to achieve those goals is a whopping $350 billion a year for the next 10 years, or $3.5 trillion. This is not about charity. It's not going to be solved through black tie gala dinners, which are band-aids for bullet holes. What we need is a lasting movement of citizens who call on world leaders to make multi-billion-dollar investments to achieve the global goals. And I'm proud to say that in the last 8 years since Global Citizen Festival was founded, more than $48 billion has been announced on Global Citizen Festival stages around the world.
That's incredible. So I know 2020 is a pivotal year for the movement and our partnership. Why is that?
Well, Ed, at key moments in history, humanity has come together to achieve extraordinary things. It happened back in 1985 in response to the Ethiopian famine with Live Aid. It happened again in 2005 in response to the crippling debt crisis in East Africa with Live Aid. And I believe 2020 is our generation's moment. Global Goal Live, the possible dream, is going to unite musicians, citizens, world leaders, the private sector, and philanthropists all this year to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. On September 26, 2020, humanity will come together during UN Climate Week to end extreme poverty and tackle climate change. We're going to host 6 simultaneous concerts around the world in 5 continents to achieve the possible dream. And we're working with the United Nations Deputy Secretary General on this goal. And we're so thrilled that yourself, Ed, and Delta, one of the first partners to sign on as co-chairs of this historic campaign.
Well, it's a real honor to be alongside you on this journey. And one of the first steps with Global Citizens that we've made is to commit the Global Goal Live campaign to be entirely carbon neutral through investments that address poverty and environmental sustainability. One project that we're working on together is creating the Great Green Wall. And it's such a cool concept. This project is building a forest that will cover the entire width of the continent of Africa, from one ocean to the other. And in addition to tackling climate change, the Great Green Wall will help provide food security and jobs for millions of people. So as communities are revitalized it's also done in concert with and support of the natural environment, creating its own virtuous circle.
I absolutely love that, Ed. And Delta's carbon offset investments for Global Go Live are going to benefit programs similar to the Great Green Wall, because we know that the forests of Uganda and Kenya are literally the lungs of this planet. So protecting them is essential for our future.
Well, that's definitely true. And the projects that we're investing alongside Global Citizen will build economies that lift people out of extreme poverty through sustainable business models and practices that will benefit those people and the planet for generations to come.
Exactly right, because eradicating extreme poverty and reversing the devastating effects of climate change are really two sides of the same coin.
So true.
And Delta's contribution is going to make an enormous impact.
That's so true, Hugh. Well, we could spend lots of time talking about the great work that we're doing because I'm so inspired by it. It's important, and this is a natural partnership for us, but you've got a stage here. You've got thousands of people here present at CES and online streaming. What can they do if they want to take action to help us achieve our goals?
Well, thank you, Ed. We would love every single one of you to be involved in Global Go Live, the Possible Dream, this year. So if you want to get involved, please go to globalcitizen.org/Delta. And thank you so much, Ed. We're so excited by this.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you.
That's a moving story, Hugh, and what a way to close. I hope today has been valuable for you, and I hope you're inspired by the journey that we've shared. Honestly, 5 years ago, I never would have imagined that Delta would be here at CES, charting our path to the future and into the next century of flight. And I am truly humbled by the opportunity to share our passion and enthusiasm with you all. And I hope you can join me and the other 90,000 people of Delta Airlines on our journey to the future of air travel. And as I invite our employees to come up on stage with me, come on up and join me. Ours is a voyage that will never end as we keep climbing on behalf of all travelers. And before we go, anyone who knows me knows I'm a sucker for a selfie, especially with other members of our Delta family. So Delta people around the world have been watching on SkyHub channel, and I hope you'll join us as we take a selfie with a big wave to see all the people in the land and around the world from Delta as we send our thanks to you for giving us this great opportunity. Thank you all. Come on, everybody, join us in the back. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your conference.